That works.
So you steal this one?
Yeah, I might would.
I was going to say, Zach, just have it move over to the other headphones. Don't disassemble. It's not easy to put on. That's why I said that. Here we go. We're starting right now.
Stand by. Five, four, three, two.
Good morning, friends. Glad to have you along with us this morning. If you want to jump in on the conversation, you can call us at 844-790-TALK. That's 844-790-8255. And we appreciate you coming along for the ride this morning. Good morning, Facebook. We're glad you're here. And thank you, Craig, for adjusting my mic. I appreciate it. Good morning, Zach. How are you?
Good morning, Anita. I'm doing fairly well today.
I want to redo this morning. That's what I want to do over. It's been a little hectic, but to our friends in Michigan, Florida, the United Kingdom, and Chile, we thank you for coming along for the ride and listening to our show each and every week and reaching out and having a conversation with me. I really love you, and thank you for joining us. I want to give a quick shout out to Brittany Straw, from Inline K9 Academy for meeting us and going over our newest family member, Princess. She's a little Yorkie mix, and we have a couple behaviors we got to work on. So I'm going to be working with her and shooting some videos of our progress. So make sure you look for those on YouTube. We're on there too under Business Connections with Anita. If you're a listener out there and would like to watch the broadcast, you can do that on my business page on Facebook at Business Connections with Anita. And we look forward to having these wonderful guests talk to us today. We have Hector Larson. I actually met him here at America Matters, him and his mom. We sat for, how many hours did we sit? A few hours. We had a good afternoon.
Yeah, just a good afternoon, just a couple of hours, from 12 a.m. to 12 p.m., right?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
That's when I work the best, And Jerry Carter, thank you, from Sierra Crest. He's an attorney for legal counsel. We're going to talk a little bit about trademarks and copyrights and patents, and we look forward to talking to you about that. Welcome to the show.
Great. Thank you for your invitation.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, and it goes quick, I can tell you. Zach and we look at each other and go, where did that hour go, huh, Zach? We were going to hit 95 degrees today, guys.
Yeah.
Then it's a downslide, I hear. We're going to get down to the high 80s.
Yeah,
Not much of a difference.
Friday, I think the high Friday right now is 75. Then it's going to come back up into the 80s.
Perfect.
So.
Did you want to hit up Christian's touch points for us here?
Yeah, so Christian is out. I believe he's out on the road. Yeah, he's doing a transport this week.
He's had a really hectic week. Couldn't even get his message recorded. But they
It
did
happens.
get one of the dogs that he transported. They got him adopted. So he's kind of
great.
busy doing that and getting
That's
that
great.
dog in its new home. So we congratulate him. And he's got a lot of things going on. So I'm going to let Zach get to it.
All right, so touching Christian from roughriders.org is normally with us. He wants to give the shout out. The Noble Pie Trivia Night is going to be this Thursday from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. at the Noble Pie in Midtown. There's going to be a $10 entry fee, and that benefits Rough Riders and Dublin's Dream Dog Rescue. And there's going to be hundreds of dollars worth of prizes for the winners. And I think both companies will have adoptable dogs to meet on site.
Yes.
It's a great fun. Their last event was amazing, and they're turning this into a monthly event. So if you can't make this month, stay tuned for next month's. Also, am I reading this right?
I know. But
Bullies, Boobies, and Brewskis event.
I love it. There's a reason for it.
I see that now. So this Saturday from 11 a.m. till 4 p.m. at 18601 Wedge Parkway on the south side of town. It's going to be raising awareness for breast cancer. So the Mammo Van is going to be there. Also raising awareness for bully breeds. So dogs that have been cast in a less than incredible light, but all dogs are lovable. It all depends on how you raise them and how, if you give them love, they give you love back. I don't think I've met any dogs that were properly taken care of that weren't good-tempered.
Right.
You know. But they have adoptable dogs on site there as well. So it looks like there will also be a tattoo artist on site. And a $50 donation will get you a dog paw or pink ribbon tattoo. So if you've been wanting something to support, you love animals, or you've been affected by breast cancer, or you just want to promote awareness, $50 donation will get you a fun little tattoo for that. And of course, there will be beer, live music, food, vendors, and more.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's very. I've known people that we've lost to breast cancer, and it's very important to get checked. So if you can get out there for that event, it's very important to get checked out, and that'll be Saturday from 11 to 4. It's at 18601 Wedge Parkway. And we're coming down to the last minute of the first segment.
Man, that goes
See
fast.
how quick that went? I have been working on a logo. I'm going to be posting that on my website soon. I'm going to actually show my humble drawings and where it all began and the end product, so you guys can look forward to that humor on afdesigns.online. And anything else we want to add in here in the last 43 seconds, Zach, before we go to break?
Huh? I don't know.
Celtic Fish?
I can always
IT
promo
guy.
Celtic
Need an
Fish.
IT.
The IT company that I work with, take care of any of your IT needs. Basically, if it plugs into the internet, it's possible that we probably work on it, or at least we can help you out.
Hey, you'd be proud of me.
Yeah?
I got my plasma TV hooked up.
Good
So
job.
now I have, the whole thing going on. So I wanted to let you know that I actually figured it out and got it
Excellent.
up and going. We've been watching movies on that nice 42-inch screen. It's really nice. Folks, thank you for staying with us, and we'll be back right after this break. I thought,
So, hit the glowing button. The left one, the glowing one.
Hit it.
Yeah, that turns the mic off. And I'll come help you there.
I'm thinking Willow Bill's going to call in. I didn't have time to look on the phone to see if he responded to me. He's on some river.
He talked on
Okay.
the Facebook.
So I'll let him say what he has to say, and then we'll move on. I thought I would interview Hector, and since you have a communication with Jerry, I thought it would be a good mix, since I know Hector.
Yeah.
Hector and
Works.
I walked the streets together. Just Wells Avenue. We were trying to make some sales, so I don't think I did very good for him though.
What were you selling? We're
Why am I not hearing you? Because your mic's off?
Yeah, he turned his mic off.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm back on.
You got it. Okay.
Can you hear me okay?
They can still see us, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now? Oh, okay.
You know what happened a few weeks ago?
What?
We were live through the whole break and the beginning of the show and everything, so everything I said was on there.
Really?
Yeah, I was glad I was really well behaved that day.
How do we know when we're back on?
He's going to
It'll roll
count.
on.
Yeah.
I have a cue. It says, if you would like to join the conversation, blah, 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 and now back to the show. And when it says that, then we come back in. The commercials are, 3 minutes each, I think, or something.
Something like that.
Willow Bill is on.
Thank you.
So you didn't listen. You want me to bring us back in, or are you gonna?
We already got through the touch points, which is good.
Mhm.
So I'll bring us back in, I guess, with the second segment, and then we'll start the interview when I can cut off.
You want to do that? Or you want to pull Willow Bill? Take care of that now.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to
Okay.
come back in, bring on Willow Bill, and then I'm going to go to Hector. And then when we come back from the third break, we'll get in here. Does that sound good?
Mhm.
Our game plan.
Yes. I'm thrown off looking at the screen you have because it's
Delayed.
delayed like
Yeah,
10
and
seconds.
the camera's right up there, and we can all wave
Hi,
and say
camera.
hello. And I have people, I have that lady in Germany every week that writes me and says, I saw your broadcast. Her name's Maria.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good exercise to get out of your comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's part of your comfort zone already, right?
It took a while, though. I still
long
get
did it take?
butterflies. Well, I still get butterflies. And Eddie says even after 38 years of broadcasting, he still gets butterflies. It's something about talking to the world. It's just amazing.
Here we
to
go.
me. Shh. Welcome back, friends. Thanks for joining us this morning. Just before I get to Willow Bill, he's on the line. Good morning, Willow Bill. I wanted to just let folks know that Jake Jemrick out there in Warsaw, Indiana is in need of a kidney. If you know anybody that would like to be a donor or need more information, you can email me at anita@americamatters.us. And that's a mouthful, I want you to say.
Right.
Anita, America Matters. You just that right there kind of tells you stuff. So anyway, Willow Bill, you're on a river.
Good morning, good morning.
Welcome.
How are you, Anita?
You're putting a smile on my face. How's the river treating you?
So I'm sitting in St. Helens, Oregon, on the Columbia River in the Flying Eagle. We're about to take off on the Piece of History Tour 12, where we do a 200-mile paddle down the Columbia, giving people rides. Kind of just like the Willow Reindeer program, Anita. You know, we like to share some good, positive things within our community and hope that they take it and share it with others.
That's awesome. And for those folks that doesn't know what a flying eagle is, can you explain it to us?
So the Flying Eagle, wow, I'm looking at 3 large elk walking by me right now. There's probably 3,600 pounds of meat walking past me. Unbelievable. So I'm sitting on the Columbia River in a 24-foot Western red cedar dugout canoe that I got to help carve in 2003 with John Rusky, Quapaw out of Mississippi, and we were retracing the steps of Lewis and Clark.
That is really cool. I saw you had some kids in your Flying Eagle boat.
You know, last year we had 383 children of the Lord in the canoe at one time or another over the 39 days and 39 nights that I was out on the water.
That's
So
awesome.
it's really a neat thing, yeah.
Yeah. And then pretty soon you're going to have to get in here in the studio and talk about the reindeer project.
You know, I'm hoping to be down there in August or September, and absolutely, this is going to be the 22nd year of the Willow Reindeer program. Anita, you know, last year we were 11 miles shy of our goal for the last 20 years, which is to do all of Highway 395 in northern Nevada.
Old
And this
395,
year we're
right?
going to succeed.
Old
The
395.
old 395, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
And how short
it's
are we?
84 miles.
Yeah.
11 miles short. So this year we're going to accomplish that.
Yes, I think we will. And you'll be calling in from a classroom, I hope. I really enjoyed that last year, and I know my listeners did too, and we look forward to having you guys come on and just give us an update of how the herd is doing.
You know, it's all about the miners and the miner minute, man. I loved how we sat down that day and figured that out, and how you give them the platform to say what they believe, you know, because they're the ones that are going to be connecting the businesses, because
In our future, yeah.
they're the ones growing up here in America, and we know how much America matters.
That's right. You know, I've been teaching robotics. We started this week, and I have to give a shout out to Ari and to Zach, because I told them yesterday I go live and I talk to the world, and I wanted to give them a shout out, and I told them I would. So, Reno Technology Academy, that's where we got it all started. We'll be on the air, Willow Bill, already for a year here. July 25th is my anniversary date, and it's gone so fast and grown so quick, and it's because of people like you, Willow Bill.
Well, you know what? Little Bill loves Anita Foster and what she's doing for the businesses all across America, especially right there in Reno and in northern Nevada. So, you guys, Zach, keep it going. You guys are great. I so appreciate what you guys do.
Thanks, Willow Bill.
Hey, we really appreciate you, and we love you, and our prayers are always with you, Will, to be safe.
God bless.
God bless.
too.
We'll
Have a
talk
great
to you
day.
soon. You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Well, today's topic, folks, is legalities of copyrights, trademarks, and patents. We are pleased to have in the studio, like I said earlier, Jerry Carter from Sierra Crest. He's going to give us some vital information about copyrights, trademarks, and this trade secrets. You know, you might have a business where you have a secret recipe or something like the Colonel at KFC, and you need to protect that recipe. We're going to talk about that and patents. But also joining me, I have Hector Larson, and he has a show here on Mondays. What time is it from? I can't remember if it's 11 or 11:30.
It's at 11, so like right around like whenever you go to lunch, just like, you know, tune in to me or Anita or anybody else. But it's on 11 on Mondays.
Awesome, and it's called?
Hector Larson's Perspective.
I like it. What's your show about?
Well, it's I'm an aspiring attorney. I'm not an attorney yet, unfortunately, like Jerry, but since I'm starting to become one, I'm really just interested in everything that's basically legal, anything that's going on the TV and the news. You see like anything going on about Trump or anything like that. It's just eye-catching. It's just interesting. It's just fun to talk about. And so I just really like to, I guess, express my opinions and kind of have like a little debate, oftentimes with Eddie or with somebody else, or like different viewpoints.
Or you have me on and we get off topic.
We start talking about food, I guess. Yeah.
Well, it was lunchtime. I don't know. We were talking about chemtrails and different things. I brought that up because it affects the food, and we were talking about stuff that kind of affects the environment and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's where it was. But sometimes I think outside the box, and it confuses people. So that's where that went. But we had a fun show,
Yeah,
and
we
it
did.
was successful, and we got back on track. We were actually supposed to be talking about terrorism that day, right?
Yeah, we were
That's where it kind of went on.
terrorism to foods.
Well, I think a chemtrail is a form of terrorism. Just my opinion, and I'm allowed to say it on America Matters.
How dare you?
Okay, so you went to TMCC. You
yeah.
tried for the presidency,
Yeah.
and that's kind of what led you here, right?
Yeah, basically I ran for president. I won, but at that point I was transferring over to UNR. I'm taking classes right now for the summer. And I was like, I can't really do both. And so since I'm going down this main road that I think is more important at the time, then I decided to just fully invest in UNR and just kind of leave TMCC behind. It's just like a transition into something better, hopefully. Well, it is.
I want to clear something up because I got a message on Messenger,
Okay.
a mutual friend of ours. And I'm just going to ask you because you like to debate and stuff, and I want you to tell your perspective here.
All right.
They said that you didn't get the presidency at TMCC. Was there a little mix-up there or something? Explain that, how that went.
Well, I did. How it worked is that basically at the campaign they were putting in like campaign regulations from the beginning. However, they weren't very specific. So what ended up happening was that basically every single candidate ended up breaking the rules.
Oh.
And because of that, they can't just disqualify every single candidate. And so what it came down to was that they looked at the votes, and I just received the majority. So I was declared president-elect up at that point, with only a couple of weeks left, because they kind of like extended it, they delayed it because of the whole like campaign issue. And so since I was just at president-elect and they were doing and the delays were going on, I was like, okay, well, I'd have to find a way to resolve it on my end for my own campaign, my person, as everybody else would have to do as well. So then I was like, okay, well, at this point, I'm basically done with school here, so why extend it? Why extend the process? And I'm sure somebody else would also do a great job of, I guess, leading TMCC and their student body. So at the time, I would just transfer to UNR and just keep going on with things.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I technically did win, but I was never, I guess,
Officially,
put
because you
as
passed
just
it off.
president. Yeah, I guess I got as far as president-elect. So yeah.
And you came here on America Matters to get the word out about winning, right? You're trying to get yourself more votes or whatever.
Yeah, basically, yeah, and that goes a little bit into the whole like advertising situation or like campaign situation, because it's just really, I guess at that time is not the most clear cut thing that you could or couldn't do. So it was like, okay, well, you know what? Anyways, I'll do this. It seems like it's really enjoyable. I like the people here. I'm joking. I hate you, Anita.
Yeah, I hate you too, Hector.
Anyway, it was just a great opportunity, to get my voice out and just, talk to people. I mean, like you said earlier, you always get like butterflies in your stomach no matter how much you do it. I've only done it like, I don't know, a couple times, and I still get nervous, so.
Yeah, well, it's normal. That's what I told a girl that I went over the weekend to a eulogy at Silver Legacy, and I told her, I said, you wouldn't be normal if you didn't get a little butterfly when you go to speak in front of people. That's a normal thing, and I think that takes a lot of fear and stress out of it. When you let people know, hey, that's a normal emotion that comes up. I was hyped up. I was pacing all around in the Reno Technology Academy getting the snacks out and stuff. I had all their snacks filled. And because I get excited. I can't wait to get here and talk to all these people. It's amazing. The things that come back from that and help other people. That's really why this show was created, was to help other people in my community. And so I give up my time, and I write every show, and I get Zach his information and try and get it out to everybody in a timely manner. Sometimes I don't get Christian's notes until the last minute, so, but I want everybody to have the information and know what we're about and what we're doing. And segment 2, coming to the end of that already.
Oh, that
Hector,
was
what
fast.
kind of law are you wanting to practice?
I'm not 100% sure yet. My parents both did criminal and like some civil, like family stuff, but I'm starting to become interested in more of like IP law or like with patents and stuff. I guess I don't know, because maybe it's my generation with all like the types of music you see in rappers and whatnot. They all just need protection in a sense. So it's just kind of interesting. But I like to think that maybe I'll decide when I actually become a lawyer. So,
Folks, stay with us. We'll be right back.
Yeah, good job.
thanks. So, how'd you decide to? You do IP and like trademark and copyright law, right?
Well, we represent businesses, and that's one of the things that businesses need help with those.
So, how'd you decide to do that? But that's what you wanted to do.
Well, my background is just a little obsessive, compulsive, and I really, the kid gravitated toward the law because I enjoy speech and debate. gave me an outlet for that, being a little bit eccentric, but enjoying the structure and the reward preparedness. So I spent a lot of time at the University of Washington Law Library, being ready for other debates. It was a natural fit. So representing business owners, they think they like the attention, and so it's somewhere where I can do some good in the world. So, but the intellectual property side, that's just one of many things that we're talking about to help them business. Whatever they need, I either provide or help them find someone who can provide for them. That's cool. I didn't know your parents had background a lot too, so you kind of grew up being
And
exposed
he's
to it.
originally from Peru, right?
Yeah, my family's from Peru. My mom was actually in Peru they have a different system of government, but she's the equivalent of the
Attorney General.
Attorney General, Secretary of State there.
Okay. So she had a government position.
Yeah, my dad was kind of a Supreme Court judge there. And so I guess I just kind of had to deal with her. I don't know. But I kind of like it.
So you grew right now.
No, they're not. Well, they're here. Yeah. But I don't know what I want to do because it's they both really loved, I guess, criminal and stuff. They did defense, but it's just I guess just different. It's, I guess maybe not as valued or just too.
There are people in Reno who are down and out on their luck, and there are plenty of people that help. You just gotta find where you wanna be helping people.
Yeah.
For sure.
At what point did you decide
I love that commercial.
At what point did I decide?
that you wanted to do?
I decided in high school I was going to be a lawyer. And as I went through law school, I graduated business.
Coming back. Thanks for staying with us today on Business Connections with Anita. All of our live listeners, our Facebook Live, and possibly even YouTube Live, because we're streaming on there as well.
Love it, love it, love it.
Another lovely Wednesday morning here in Reno, Nevada. We've got a high of, 95 degrees out today. It's going to be roasty toasty. Yeah, I guess we'll just dive in. We just heard from Hector Larson, a student perspective on law, and has his passion to get into it. And
Has his own talk show on Mondays at 11. And so, be sure to tune in on 1180 a.m. KCKQ, America Matters, on Mondays at 11.
there you go. Jerry,
Welcome.
good morning.
Thank you.
Or good morning
morning to
again.
you.
So we actually are in a referral-based networking group on Wednesday mornings together, Truckee Meadows Networking, 7 a.m. So Jerry, what got you into law? What drove you to this industry?
Well, for me, it started early.
Yeah.
I just grew up as kind of a competitive kid that liked to geek out on board games, chess, Dungeons and Dragons, and I was a nerd, kind of, a little eccentric, a little obsessive, and I kind of naturally gravitated into speech and debate in high school, and loved the structure and the fact that preparation is so important there. And so I spent a couple summers hanging out at the University of Washington Law Library, preparing for debate seasons, and just really felt in my element. And as I've gone through law school and worked with business owners, I still feel in my element because I can help people. They don't think it's strange at all to have someone who's slightly obsessive working on their matter because it's important to them and they're willing to pay and and I enjoy giving good value to them and moving them forward. And so I've really enjoyed being part of the law.
No, that's excellent. And we need people that are attention oriented and know the legalities behind it and can read the legalese.
Because sometimes businesses grow into situations and they're not sure what to do, you know?
It's kind of like the health of our body. We can have things happening inside of our body that we're not aware of unless we're regularly seeing the doctor. You can have tooth decay happening and not really be able to see it in the mirror. You just have to go to the dentist. And it's the same way with business diseases. Sometimes they lie a little bit under the surface, and you need to be in regular contact with your business attorney so that those things are brought to the surface and dealt with before you get to stage 3 or 4.
Do you help I'm just going to ask real quick. Do you help businesses set up a structure for their business, or no, more so just the copyright and like sole proprietor or partnership?
Yes and yes. And when you talk about structure, I think you're talking about, do they form a corporation or a limited liability company? How do they want to carry it out? And there are a lot of benefits to corporations. They allow you to take your idea, take your resources, put it into a box, and whatever happens with that box doesn't necessarily touch you as the business owner. You can shield yourself from some of the risk. And it gives people confidence to be able to move forward with their plans where they might not have the confidence if they knew that they had personal liability is the word. That being said, there is such a thing as insurance. I mean, there are a lot of different ways a business owner can protect himself or herself, and choosing the right structure is important, and then being responsible in how you carry out your business and making sure you have the appropriate insurance is also important.
Very important to have coverage all the way around. Because things happen, It isn't always you as a business owner. It could be an employee that's left a fryer on at the, fast food joint or something that catches on fire. You never know. So it's always good to have those things in order and in place.
Well, if you think about it, I mean, your customers want to know that you are going to be around and that you're structuring your affairs in a way that means you're going to meet your obligations. If you didn't think McDonald's was going to deliver that shake, you wouldn't go to the first drive-through window and give them your money.
Right.
You expect to be dealing with an outfit that takes their commitments seriously.
So you also, I know we actually went and you did a luncheon on IP.
Yes.
So trademarking, copywriting, patenting, and what is covered by each and when to get into that. So you want to speak a little bit on that?
Yeah, there's so much to say about, and when you say IP, we're talking about intellectual property. We're talking about property that has a value, but you can't touch it. You can't put your hands on it, and yet you know that it has a value. And for me, the theme with intellectual property is you have to get off of your rear end more than once, because in the first instance you have to get off of your rear end and develop something that's worth protecting. You've got to write that book, you've got to paint that painting, you've got to come up with your business trade name, your logo, and so that required effort. And then the second time you have to get off your rear end is if you want to protect that from somebody else copying or stealing it. You have some basic default protections. It's sort of like getting a default character on Fortnite. You've got some basic protections that you just for creating the work.
Right.
But if you get off of your rear end and play the game, make your copyright filing or your trademark filing, you get more protection. And so that's the second time when you want to make sure that you get off of your rear end and you protect yourself.
Yeah. As a designer, I know, as soon as I create something, it's copyrighted. But then once I hand over the rights to my client, maybe I want to hold on to some of those rights, because I created that and I want to use it on my portfolio or wherever I need to. It gets sticky, right?
It goes with the creative personality because you're giving birth
You're right.
to something, and the question is, are you a surrogate mom or is this your baby?
Right.
And if you're going to be if there's a surrogate mom situation, everybody needs to be clear going in.
Mm-hmm.
And the same way with when you're creating something on behalf of somebody else, I'm indifferent as to who's going to have that baby, but I would certainly, say it's an urgent matter for you to be talking with the other parents and deciding whose baby it is.
What I usually do is I go ahead and create it, and I get my income from that, and then I deliver all the files to my client, but I ask for their permission to post it on my social media.
Sure.
So that's one way of doing it.
It's all about talking beforehand and setting your deal.
Contracts.
Right, and especially important if you have employees. So if you're a company that has graphic designers or people who are creating stuff while working for the company, of laying that down in contract form of, okay, is it if you did it during business hours, it's the companies? Is it if you did it during the period of time that you worked at the business, it's all the companies? Or how that falls? I know that can...
And it has to be very formal. I mean, when you get... we're not going to get into the sausage factory of all the filings, but one thing that will come up when you're working on filing and protecting is that those questions come up. What was who all was involved in creating this? And sometimes people have to sign on the dotted line saying they're giving their rights to you, the company. And so those things really need to be tended to from the beginning.
Not after it's already been made.
Well, and that's when you go get a lawyer and say, please help me in a dispute, right?
Yeah, and a lot of people say, well, I hope I never have to have a lawyer. Well,
you will in any business, I think, at one point, especially the longer you go in business.
Right, it's better to have you ahead of time
in
than,
place.
we've got a mess now, can you fix it?
right. Well, you didn't go into business to either have or not have a lawyer. You went into business to create something and give value to other people. And so that's, if you keep your eye on the ball, that's the question. What am I creating, and what are the tools I need in order to successfully carry on my business and protect what's mine? And that question, if you answer that question honestly, it may lead you to, yes, I need an attorney. But we didn't go into business to either have or not have attorneys. We went into business to accomplish our objective and help people.
Right. Well, I'm sure you'll do discovery meetings with people, right? And like they can call and be like, do we need your services? This is where we're at. And you will honestly say,
Yes.
You might can skate this, but...
Yeah, we sit down with business owners. We take time to understand their goals, diagnose their business opportunity or problem. And then, the sooner we have that conversation, the more options we have, and we can strategize. Even if it's stage 3 or stage 4, we can strategize, but just understand that your options are more limited at that time.
Jerry, how can people contact you?
They can visit our website, sierracrestlaw.com. They can call us at 775-448-6070. So 448-6070. Those are the
Perfect.
2 best ways.
Awesome. We thank you for sharing your information. We're going to hear a little bit more and maybe get back to Hector a little bit and let him talk a little bit. I have a few more things I think I need to yell out here at the very end, and then we'll have our closing comments. But you folks are awesome out there. Thank you for hanging with us this morning, and we'll be back here in just a little bit to talk more about patents, trademarks, and copyrights. Stay with us, folks. We'll be right back.
It's more fun when you're talking than when you're waiting.
Did you hear Eddie broke his shoulder? Yes, he's the founder. I help him with administrative assistant. Well, I was a little more here, a little more, but this week's a little crazy. Yes, and U.S. Realty and different stuff. Do you want to hand these out to our guests on the air when we get closer to the end?
This is his radio station.
Yep, he's a founder.
Is he out there hustling all the advertisers?
He does a lot of it, but most of the time he's usually sitting back here behind the wall. And he's here every day because he is on the air quite a bit. So,
But he's the news, so he's not here.
right. Yeah, and they have Wainema Ranch out there in North Reno. His wife owns that, and he takes care of all those wild horses, and that's where he lives, and they live very humbly, and I don't know. Craig told me. I hadn't read my emails. I haven't got caught up on all the emails because I had really pressing things to get done before I get into this pressing thing. I can usually tell by the subject if it's something I need to really get to or. Right? See, I told you.
So the hour goes quick. Usually we hit the break and we start looking. I was like, oh yeah.
Zach, are you going to bring us in or should I? You can do it? Just give me enough time at the end to hit up Jake again.
Maybe respound Christian Spence. Maybe respound Christian Spence.
If we have time. Probably won't have time. Because we got still, what's the difference between a copyright and a trademark, and when do I patent? Kind of.
Totally up to you guys. You're not going to ask all
It's
your
just a
questions.
conversation.
At
Well,
this
I always
point.
overwrite.
Right.
Because it depends on your response. I don't know how many words you're going to use.
Nope.
I had a kids show.
does?
I had a kids show, and I didn't take that into consideration. And when they answered, they went yes, no, and there was nothing really after that.
Yeah.
So now I
The
overwrite.
the
If I don't
environment, yeah.
if I don't get to all of it, then we can have you back on, and we can go over some more stuff. I'd rather have too much than not enough.
Yeah, for sure.
Thanks for staying tuned in with us this Wednesday morning, everybody. All our live radio, Facebook Live, and anybody that catches us on the podcast after we're done throughout the week. We appreciate all of you guys.
Yes, we do.
So we still have Jerry Carter with Sierra Crest Business Law Group in the studio with us, and we heard a little bit from Hector Larson, and who's going to school for law.
Yeah.
So it's been a great conversation so far. Now we've got a bit more that we want to cover with you, Jerry. So how much have you worked with the IP law, and so knowing that, working the differences between patenting and copywriting and trademarking, and do you work directly on it, or do you just know when to coach your clients when they need to make that step?
So I've worked with businesses for over 25 years, and we deal with anything that comes up in the business world, and intellectual property protection is one of those. And we have resources in our firm right now where we can help with those issues. Sometimes a business owner has issues that we can't help with, but it's still the right thing to do to have that conversation, because we always know where we can get the help.
I'm looking forward to starting an S corporation soon, so I need to get some things in order, because there's going to be a couple other entities under that. So might be hitting you up here soon.
Sure. The sooner is always the better. I mean, sometimes we say, I'm going to take this action once I get my stuff together.
I'm waiting for finances, and I know
Yeah,
it's coming.
right.
So, the money's coming. The check's in the mail, per se. So, we're getting closer to our goal of doing that. My boyfriend sets tile, and then we want to do a couple other things. So, and I need some logo stuff
Right,
done. And
good.
I know, I'm getting it in order before I come and sit down and say, okay, here's my hot mess, fix it. I want to have it in order when I come
Right.
in.
But in life, you don't have to impress your attorney. You don't have to have all your stuff together to show up and say, I need help. And sometimes the right thing to do is just to show up and say, I need help.
Hey, that's awesome to know.
Well, because as the attorney and having been through it many, many times over, you'll be like, yeah, I need this from you, and you need to think about this thing. And as a business owner or prospective business owner, you can be like, I never thought of that. You need this. How do I do that?
Right. And part of it is you don't have to be out on an island alone. I mean, sometimes the right thing to do is to do it yourself, but sometimes the right thing to do is to ask for help when you need it.
I agree.
Well, two heads are always better than one. And Jerry, how many heads do you have in your office now?
We have 4 heads in the office, 4.5 if you count part-time employees, and we're working on hiring another experienced business attorney. So that will really expand our capacity to help people.
Hurry up, Hector.
Right. Or any of our listeners, if you guys are one and you're looking for a different opportunity, or you have a friend that is experienced and high quality, and send them over to talk with Jerry. Be fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. And we continue to support you. We'll put a link on our afdesigns.online. I have a links page, and my listeners and watchers that are regulars, they know about that, and the new ones now know about it.
That'll be terrific.
And I link to you. So we don't just do this show. We continue to support you long after, both of you, just so
Yes.
you know.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, fun
Well,
times.
Well, let's give it just a quick synopsis, Jerry, since you presented very well when we did the luncheon with you. What does a copyright cover? What does a patent cover? What does a trademark cover?
So a trade name or a trademark protects your brand name or your logo, or both.
Okay.
The copyright is going to protect an expressive work, which is the term of art. But it's easiest to think of it in terms of a book, a painting, a design,
Photograph.
computer software code, a photograph. It'll protect your expressive work. The patent will protect your invention, something that you added to the knowledge of mankind that makes something easier, faster, simpler, better. And then, I don't know if you asked, but then the 4th category we talk about are your trade secrets.
Right.
That's your secret sauce, the KFC recipe, the special proprietary way you do things, your customer lists, any of those things. And of course you protect them by keeping them secret, first and foremost, and taking reasonable measures to protect those.
So let's tap on patents a little bit, because I think that's a more fuzzy realm. Like copyrights, everybody knows. Books always have it. We've seen it everywhere. Trademarks, you'll see the little TM in the circle after names, and big companies, things like that. But patents, can you give a little more in depth of like what's the smallest thing that you could get patented, or what is the expressive thing that somebody might not think should have a patent that you really could patent? It would be very beneficial to have a patent for.
Well, the thing with patent, a patent will protect an invention, and the reason that we have the patent laws is to encourage people to invent things and put them into commercial use, and so we give them a space in which they have the exclusive right to use their baby that we talked about. And the key with a patent is that it's time sensitive. I mean, from the day you come up with your invention and put it into commercial use, the clock starts to tick. And so the most important thing to think about is to be talking to somebody who is familiar with the process early on. And that's in every instance there's a little bit of patent research to be done to answer your question, Zach, about what is patentable and what is not. And so my advice is to just have that conversation soon before you're out of time, because then the answer is always not. Right?
Right.
You want to have the conversation while there's still a possibility.
Before you share it with people and somebody else
Yeah,
starts.
don't ever share your idea with, anyone except for an attorney, in my opinion, because people will run with your idea and make a little tweak, and then there you go.
Yeah,
It's a hard call, because I've seen that happen to family members even. You're at a reunion or something, and a conversation comes up about an invention, and then next thing you know, it's off and running with someone else.
if it's your idea and you want to make some use of it, then keep it to yourself. People are generous. I was on the airplane just last week talking with someone about their business, and we kind of brainstormed some ideas just because we were having a nice conversation.
Right.
I don't expect that he's going to send me a check.
Right,
If we came up with an idea that helps him, then that's great.
Right.
But for my idea, for what I want to do, yeah, I'll hold it closer to the vest.
I hear you.
Well, maybe you could speak on it. What's the price range to get into doing like a patent?
Patents are there's a price to be paid to really investigate it and take it through the prosecution stage. It could be anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000.
Okay.
Depending on what it's for.
So
Yeah.
if your idea is worth more than that, then definitely get a patent, because if you lose it,
Yeah, it's an investment to make. It's sort of like building your house on a foundation instead of building it on the sand.
and then what about a copyright? Like if you actually have to file paperwork on a copyright.
Copyright fees are a lot less, and so it depends on the work, but those you could take care of a copyright for less than $1,000.
Okay, that's not bad.
That's good to know.
And then trademarking.
Same.
Okay. And then trademarks, if I remember, I did a little digging on this. They have a term life. Like once you get it approved, then you have to have it resubmit.
You have to renew it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I didn't
and that's
know
a small
that.
cost.
That's good information.
And that's a little bit of cost. And if you miss the renewal mark, you can lose it.
That wouldn't be good.
Right. But and I'm purposely not giving all the technical legal
Right,
stuff.
right.
But the idea is that when you get your trademark, you just put on the calendar when it's going to expire, and then 90 days before then you start the process again to fill out the renewal paperwork. It's just a matter of being attentive and using the calendar as a business tool.
Well, gentlemen, I can't thank you enough for being on Business Connections with Anita today. And Zach has a little goodie for you for being
all
here
of
on
our
American
guests,
Matters.
we give out
Thank
a
you.
American flag pen,
Yes.
since this is
Very
American
generous.
Matters Radio.
That's right, and we continue to support these folks, and I know I'll be seeing Hector around.
Yeah.
We had a great time together one afternoon and learned a lot about each other, and we continue to support each other, and glad to have him here and part of American Matters family. And Jerry, you'll have to come back and share more information. I know that people don't always have time during the day, but they do catch us when they get home, and they do catch us over the weekend. So I look forward to spreading the wings to your business over there. So look forward to folks coming through the door and saying, Anita sent me.
It's been a great pleasure being with you.
Yeah.
Sitting in the room that's a fishbowl, basically.
That it is a fishbowl. There's a show on Fridays. Shannamal Lawson does it. It's Nevada Roundup, Radio Roundup, and he calls it the corral. So it's kind of like a corral or a terrarium, you know. I like to think of a terrarium. We're all plants and we're growing. Anyways, folks, we are to the end of this hour.
We are.
And stay tuned for Truth to Power. This is a Business Connections with Anita. We air every Wednesday at 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. You can see more about me at afdesigns.online. Everybody have a great hump day, and you are the best part of our week. We'll see you next